this point, it's over. That whole Sky Barbie thing, that thing is over. Angel Reese is done in Chicago. They're going to move on. They have to. With what Courtney Vandersloot just came back and said, Courtney Vandersloot just smoked Angel Reese. And you know who else is going in on Angel Reese? You got Nightcap with Unk and Ocho, Shannon Sharp and Chad Johnson going in on this Angel Reese situation. She didn't think it was going to go this way.
The Chicago Sky are officially collapsing, and the reason for this is that their best player just breached the most important rule in sports. A civil war inside the locker room that threatens to destroy the entire franchise has been sparked by Angel Reese's public declaration of war against her own teammate, the renowned Courtney Vandersloot. It's more than simply drama, it's a full-fledged crisis, and everyone must pick a side between a decorated champion and a brazen young wonder. Additionally, the consequences of this breathtaking act of treachery could be disastrous for all parties concerned.
If you're going to go at a legend, you better not miss. As we know, Angel Reese come out this week. She absolutely crushed her own teammates into the dust, and she even decided to go after a legend, the legendary Courtney Vandersloot, who, of course, blew out her ACL at the beginning of the season, and she is in the midst of making a comeback. And of course, Angel Reese made some comments that were none too kind to a legend. Angel Reese will be lucky if she has a third of the career.
Every sport has hallowed standards of conduct and unwritten norms that keep a team cohesive and respectful. The most crucial of these is straightforward: you never disparage your own in public. However, Angel Reese didn't simply disregard that regulation. She broke it into a million fragments. It all began with a few seemingly innocuous remarks made during an interview, but they were pointed directly at Courtney Vandersloot, the team's seasoned leader. Reese publicly questioned her future, while Vandersloot was enduring a long recuperation from a devastating ACL injury. She openly pondered whether the 35-year-old champion could ever be the same player again, as well as Vandersloot's age and sturdiness. Reese proposed that the Sky needed a younger, more trustworthy person to base their plans on. It may have seemed like a candid evaluation to the outside world, but within the professional sports industry, it was the height of treachery. When a franchise legend was at her weakest, a young celebrity publicly shoved her toward the door. The boundary had been erased, not merely crossed.
Rookie team. Angel will not have the career that Courtney Vandersloot has had. She won't. You know why? Because I don't think the league's going to tolerate her long enough. She's going to run her mouth until she just ends up jumping from team to team until she does what I think she should do right now.
Legends don't become legends by giving up a battle. 5-time All-Star, 7-time assist champion, and 2-time WNBA champion Courtney Vandersloot has based her whole career on poised accuracy and an unwavering will. A player who hasn't won a single postseason series was not going to openly destroy her legacy. However, her response wasn't a dramatic social media post or a furious tirade. Her answer was infinitely more potent, far more calculating, and much colder. Vandersloot directly addressed the rumors in a composed and straightforward statement. My age is not a factor, she asserted, in contrast to what some people may assume or believe.
I don't know, Angel Reese. This is what Courtney Vandersloot had to say. She's firing off. Angel Reese, you got her twisted. She said, contrary to what people think, what people say or think, my age is actually not a factor. I am coming back. This is after Angel Reese said, yeah, Sloot is old. We need somebody young that can do this, that got some experience, but we need somebody young. She too old. I don't know if she can come back from that torn ACL.
I'm better than ever. When I returned, there was only unwavering, icy confidence, no drama or anger. It was an excellent demonstration of experienced leadership. She refrained from becoming as chaotic as Reese. She overcame it by reminding everyone that her 2 championship rings are a louder statement than any careless remark could possibly make. The clapback was devastating because it was grounded in indisputable truth, not because it was loud. The fighting lines were established. At that same moment, you Must acknowledge that this wasn't a singular error. If you want to fully comprehend the locker room explosion, Angel Reese views controversy as a tactic rather than an accident. She painstakingly developed a villainous persona while competing for the LSU championship. She carried that same aggressive energy to the WNBA, playing the part of the agitator who gets under her opponent's skin and accruing technical fouls and on-court antics that kept her in the news. It was effective for a while.
But she's on video now, and she's made a direct shot. Courtney has answered the shot from Angel Reese. And I got to be honest with you. How much, I'm going to speculate out loud. How much shit was Angel Reese talking in that Chicago Sky locker room last year around Kennedy Carter about Caitlin Clark? All right, think about that a minute. The influence there. I got to tell you, I don't think it was Kennedy Carter that blew that locker room up. I think it was Angel Reese.
It enhanced her reputation and elevated her to the status of one of the league's most watched and discussed players. However, there is a crucial boundary that cannot be crossed between attacking your rivals and attacking your own teammates. Reese used her brand against her own home by openly disparaging Vandersloot, demonstrating that, in her opinion, the story of Angel Reese may be more significant than the Chicago Sky's achievement. This wasn't only an error, it was a well-thought-out move by a player who appears to think of herself as the system rather than a component of it.
Who wasn't going for it? And I'm going to tell you right now, Courtney Vandersloot has won a title in Chicago, and she will not be playing with Angel Reese next year. I'm going to tell you that right now. Angel Reese is good as gone. Good as gone.
Comparing Reese's actions to those of her fiercest adversary, Caitlin Clark, brings the devastation in Chicago into even more stark focus. Both players had a great deal of expectation placed on them when they joined the league as generational superstars. However, they could not be more dissimilar in how they handle hardship and leadership. Since going pro, Clark has been subjected to a never-ending stream of vicious cheap shots, persistent physical attacks, and continual scrutiny from both the media and fans. She has, however, maintained a laser-like focus on one issue, which has increased Indiana fever. She never publicly questions the worth of veterans or criticizes her colleagues in interviews, even though it's challenging. You can see her working to create a successful culture from the ground up. While Clark is engaged in combat with other teams, Reese appears to be actively demolishing one. Reese is at odds with her own co-workers. This demonstrates a huge disparity in comprehension of what it really means to be a franchise player. In addition to maturity, Clark is demonstrating her ability to serve as an organization's cornerstone. Reese is demonstrating that she could be its fatal defect. According to reports, the Chicago Sky locker room has become a highly toxic and fragmented space as a result of the public declaration of war between its biggest rising star and its most revered veteran. There are rumors around the league that the team is now divided into two factions. On the one hand, Reese's aggressive anti-establishment manner and magnetic star power appeal to younger players. The seasoned veterans, on the other hand, are aware that unity, discipline, and respect are necessary for winning titles, all of which Reese has blatantly disregarded. This is not even the initial indication of problems. The drama surrounding Kennedy Carter's notorious fall on Caitlin Clark rocked the team last season. Many today think that this action was a sign of a far more serious cultural decay that existed beforehand. The difficult issue was Angel Reese the one stirring the pot and poisoning the well all along, is now being asked by analysts. As they reflect on the past, it presents a somber image of a squad at war with itself, where the arrogant entitlement of a new star who won't wait her turn has supplanted the old guard's fundamental respect. The administration of the Chicago Sky had a decision to make. When faced with a full-blown 5-alarm situation, they might take a firm stance, reprimand their best player, and make it clear that the team is more important than any one person, or they might retreat, sacrificing the culture and integrity of their staff in order to safeguard their largest ticket seller and social media following. Amazingly, they decided to take the weakest, most pitiful route possible. Angel Reese missed one half of a basketball game due to a suspension. It wasn't a penalty, it was a capitulation in public. It was a pointless performative smack on the wrist that only served to highlight to the league as a whole how absolutely and utterly cowardly the Sky front office is. They sent a scary message to the rest of the crew by refusing to hold Reese accountable in any way. She is exempt from the regulations. This horrible leadership performance wasn't the only thing that didn't work. It fueled the flames, giving Ree more authority and giving the impression that her coaches had little influence over their own franchise player. The Chicago Sky is currently at a franchisee-defining crossroads, and it's possible that the damage is already too great to fix. The confidence has been betrayed. There is no longer any respect. Angel Ree and Courtney Vandersloot sharing a court next season, let alone collaborating to take home a championship, seems unthinkable. The front desk must make a difficult decision for which there is no simple solution. Do they acknowledge to the public that they created an uncontrollable monster by trading Ree, a player with unquestionable marketability and enormous talent, or do they retain her, essentially giving the franchise's keys to a celebrity who has demonstrated that she will destroy everyone who stands in her path? Even her own teammates. They run the danger of offending every veteran in the locker room and sending the message to prospective free agents that Chicago is a dysfunctional and toxic place to play. If they retain Reese, however, they would lose one of the game's best young players. If they traded her, the future of the entire organization will be determined for years to come by this one quarrel, which started with a few careless words and has since grown into a full-blown identity crisis within WNBA circles. This conflagration did not remain contained for very long. It sparked a national sports debate and drew harsh condemnation from some of the most reputable media figures on their hugely successful program Nightcap. NFL greats Chad Johnson and Shannon Sharpe didn't mince words. Sharpe was ruthless, foreseeing that Ree would spit her gut till she moved from team to team and eventually quit the league. He maintained that the WNBA would not put up with her actions long enough for her to have a lasting impression. There is a serious issue when the titans of the sports industry, people who have seen it all, publicly render judgments this severe. This goes beyond simple blog discussion or fan conjecture. It's a professional critique of Angel Reese's personality and a cautionary tale that even the professional sports industry cannot tolerate her combative style any longer. One similarity repeatedly came up as analysts examined Reese's actions. The WNBA's Draymond Green is Angel Ree. It is impossible to overlook the similarities. Both are combative, emotional players who enjoy disruption. Both are well known for their on-court theatrics, which include accumulating technical fouls and participating in trash talk and attention-grabbing stare-downs. However, there is a single significant distinction between them, and that is everything. Draymond Green has won 4 NBA titles because it is viewed as the emotional core of a contemporary dynasty. His wild energy is accepted and occasionally even applauded. His theatrics are seen as a necessary part of winning. However, Angel Ree lacks the Draymond resume, but possesses the Draymond mentality. Without the ultimate confirmation of winning, she lacks titles, deep playoff runs, and even a winning record to support her actions. Her actions appear to be immaturity more than desire. She is playing a part that can only be justified by a degree of achievement that she has yet to even approach. This whole story ultimately boils down to one individual, Angel Reese. There is no denying her brilliance. She is a fierce competitor on the court, an unrelenting rebounder with sometimes contagious intensity. However, her career is currently perilously close to falling apart due to her self-destructive tendencies and enormous potential. The ghosts of exceptionally talented athletes whose careers were ultimately destroyed by their own egos are common throughout sports history. Ree is currently on that same perilous path. Whether she can play basketball at an elite level is no longer the question. It concerns her leadership skills, her ability to understand that respect is earned rather than expected, and that unity, not division, is the key to winning championships. Will Angel Ree become a WNBA legend, or is she headed to become one of the greatest cautionary tales in basketball history, a star that blazed brightly before destroying every bridge in its path?